Welcome, Bright. Check it there.
Manually you can do update. Okay, I will ask someone to access. So you need to check if you are online. If someone is waiting, you have to accept.
Good morning. So today we are going to look at a new topic in business environment. Basically, we are going to continue from where we stopped. Remember, initially we had looked at the nature of the business environment. So we looked at both the external business environment and the internal business environment. The external business environment, we agreed that we use pastel analysis in order to appreciate or understand what the external business environment is all about. The internal business environment, we assessed it using the McKinsey 7S framework model, of which we all understand by now. So we are going to continue from there, and now we are going to look at the nature of business. So this one will be like the second chapter, which we can classify as chapter 2 to appreciate what the nature of business is all about. So what are we expected to know after the lesson? Well, this chapter is intended to provide you with the basic framework of business. That is the reasons for starting a business, the categories of business, ownership, legal status, and a discussion of the business as a transformational process. So we need to appreciate all that. Now, what can we say is the nature of business? So we're going, first of all, to understand the categories of business, or what kind of categories can we have for various types of businesses. So businesses are divided into two broad categories, namely for profit businesses and not for profit businesses. I'll say that again. So businesses are divided into two broad categories, namely for profit businesses and not for profit businesses. That's what we need to be able to appreciate. So first of all, we are going to look at for profit businesses, and then we're going to appreciate what kind of businesses are for profit businesses. The fundamental characteristic of this type of businesses is to make profit. That's why they have the name for profit businesses. So whatever the size of the company, whether large or small, the primary objective of for-profit business is to make as much profit as possible. Examples of for-profit businesses, there's so many of them. We have different types of for-profit businesses all around the world. Starting from here, for instance, in Zambia, we have Trade Kings, those type of businesses. Trade Kings as a business there for profit. Coca-Cola as an international business for profit. BP or Puma, the ones that provide us with fuel, these are for profit business. Xerox, you know, remember Xerox is a company that make photocopiers. These are for profit businesses. These can be categorized as large organizations, but they exist mainly for providing, for making profits. That's their main reason why they exist. We can also talk about small organizations, a local restaurant in your area, a hairdresser, or a dentist in your area. These are examples of for-profit businesses. Not-for-profit businesses. What kind of businesses can be categorized as not-for-profit business? Usually, businesses that are set up as not-for-profit, they include charities or organizations seeking to provide a service to the community or to improve circumstances for the social good. In other words, their main reason of existence is mainly to improve social circumstances for the social good, to improve the well-being of societies or communities. The goal of business is to spend all the proceeds on its selected mission, and therefore not really to make a profit. These organizations sometimes may generate profit, but mostly a not-for-profit organization does not distribute the profits to the owners or shareholders, but the profits are passed to recipients or members of that particular organization. So in that regard, maybe for that to make more sense, we can have examples of not-for-profit organizations. So not-for-profit organizations may include clubs, societies, or charities. You know, these are different from Coca-Cola, Trade King. These are charities, these are clubs, these are societies, basically just to promote the social good. So we need to understand that. Apart from, in terms of appreciating further what these not-for-profit organizations, maybe we can look at specific examples that that are in the category of not-for-profit organizations. And these include trade associations. Trade associations. So which ones are trade associations? These exist to provide services to their member firms, such as undertaking public relations and advertising for the trade as a whole, or publishing trade magazines, providing information services, and arranging exhibitions. All these are examples of trade associations. Apart from trade associations, we also have professional bodies. So what could be examples of professional bodies? So professional bodies, they provide, for instance, those that provide qualifications and education. They provide information services. They provide employment advice, such as the labor office, meeting and conferences for their members with the aim of developing and maintaining their knowledge and skills in a particular area of employment. All these are examples of professional bodies. Apart from professional bodies, we can also have clubs. So what would be examples of clubs? Clubs, those are the ones which provide a variety of activities catering for the specific interests of their members, such as sports facilities. For example, rugby, football, and tennis. We can also have other examples, including dinner clubs for members to meet new people, young farmers clubs for those working in agriculture, for instance, etc. Charities. Charities are those which can be formed for many reasons, but always for the benefit of a defined group of people. For instance, the National Trust, which owns and preserves properties and open space for the general public, for the general benefit of, for instance, UK citizens. So those are examples of not-for-profit organizations. To continue with our discussion, to understand further the nature of businesses, maybe we can finally look at the general objectives of any business. When a business exists, there are normally objectives. In other words, things that those businesses intend to achieve. They define their reason of existence. So a business cannot just be there for no apparent reason at all, but they are there for a specific reason. So what are the general objectives of any business that we can think of? The first one, survival. Survival is the primary objective of any business, since unless a business can generate sufficient sales to cover its running costs, its startup capital will soon be exhausted. Will soon be exhausted, and it will fail. So businesses exist to survive. That's one general objective of a business, to survive, so that probably all the capital that was generated to the business doesn't go under the drain, but it bears profits or fruits. A second general objective of any business is profit maximization. Profit maximization. So a business will set as an objective to make profit, and the profit is normally essential for the business to survive in the long term. There are unusual exceptions, such as where the owners have sufficient funds to ignore profit levels and run the business as if it is a lobby, but these are rare. So businesses normally exist to make profit. Apart from profit maximization, or maybe to appreciate profit maximization further, we may need to understand the different types of profits that these businesses can set for themselves. So to understand the types of profit, we can refer to what is called the economic theory. The economic theory states that businesses should have the overriding goal of profit maximization. And in economic terms, profit is defined in two ways. Number one, we have what is called normal profit. So what can we understand as normal profit? Normal profit is the minimum return that owners must make on the capital sum they invest to prevent them from closing that business and moving their capital to an alternative source, which returns more income from that same capital sum. This could be another business or an interest-bearing investment. Let me explain that fully. What we are saying as normal profit is therefore that expectation or expected profit that if you start a business, at least you have a certain minimum level of profit that you expect to have in that business. That kind of profit is what is referred to as profit. You know, businesses, when you start a business, you can make huge profits, or you can make what we can therefore call as a normal profit. That minimum level of profit that you will be satisfied to say you have made a particular type of profit. That will be called normal profit. Then another type of profit is what is referred to as supernormal profit. This is the excess of profit above the normal profit. In other words, when a business makes profit, which is classified as normal profit, and makes extra profit above the normal profit, that is referred to as supernormal profit. You know, when businesses are considering, or organizations are considering to venture into different types of businesses, they look at this aspect of supernormal profit to guide them into making a decision to venture into that type of business. In other words, organizations are not only satisfied with normal profits, but the question that they will ask themselves is, what kind of supernormal profit are we going to make if we venture into this type of business? Of course, we can make this normal profit, but what kind of supernormal profit are we going to have if we venture into this type of profit? So in other words, supernormal profit is the type of profit that will attract new firms into a particular industry or sector. And it is supernormal profit that creates competition for the existing businesses. Well, let's proceed with the various objectives of businesses. We have talked about, remember, we have talked about survival as the first objective. The second objective, we've talked about profit maximization, and we've talked about those various types of profits. So we are continuing from there. Market share. Market share is the third objective that any business can set for itself. So gaining a market share for the market for a particular product is again essential for a business to survive. If it's not possible to achieve a viable level of sales, the film normally will fail. So any business will fight or will strive to try to gain as much market share as they can, because the higher the market share, the more the sales, and the more the sales, the more the potential profit that any business might be able to gain. Another objective of business is growth. So increasing market share often will lead to the firms growing. And any business, therefore, would want to see if we are going to engage ourselves in this particular business. What are our prospects of growth? So it's interesting again to appreciate what growth means. When we talk of growth, we can talk about internal growth. We can also talk about external growth. A professional term that is normally used is internal expansion, that is internal growth, or external expansion, that is also called external growth. So internal growth, what do we mean when we talk of this particular growth in business? Internal growth or expansion can be achieved by increasing manufacturing capacity, expanding the premises, purchasing more equipment, or adding a new building, etc. In other words, what we refer to as internal growth is the type of growth that will basically be based on the internal resources that an organization may have, or the internal capability that an organization can have. For instance, if we add to this list, how much money do we have at the bank? How many people in terms of human resources do we have within the organization that can contribute to the organizational growth? In other words, if the organization is using its already existing internal resources of the business to grow, that is referred to as internal growth or expansion. Then external growth or expansion, how does the business achieve external expansion or growth? First of all, we need to appreciate what is external growth or external expansion. So basically, external growth or expansion is the type of growth in which the business will grow by using external means or resources. For instance, if you have a joint venture, that is, if one business agree to pursue an economic activity together with another business, that is a joint venture. So you can see that it is helping the organization to grow, but growing externally by linking up with another organization. Or an acquisition. An acquisition, it means the business will be able to buy or take over another business. Let's say Trade Kings buys another business and adds that business to its list of businesses. We can say that that is referred to as an acquisition. In so doing, you find that the business is growing in that sense. Another way to grow externally is through mergers. A merger, it means one business linking with another business to become one. You know, any business when it's starting, it has its legal status that defines that specific business. However, when two or more companies have merged, it means they will cease to use their individual legal statuses. They will now use a totally different one legal status that will signify that these organizations have joined together and they have become one organization. So that is what is called a merger. So that's a merger is part of external growth. Joint ventures are part of external growth or expansion. Acquisitions or takeovers are part of external expansion. Okay, don't lose focus. What we're saying is we're looking at a particular objective of any business that is growth, that any business will pursue growth. When you start a business, you'd want to move from one level to another. So how do you move from one level to another? Through internal expansion or growth or through external expansion or growth, as I have just explained. Another objective of any business is what is referred to as corporate social responsibility, or CSR as it's normally abbreviated. So corporate social responsibility is the process of giving back to societies and communities in which the organization is benefiting from. Okay, I'll say that again. Corporate social responsibility refers to the process of giving back to societies and communities in which the organization is benefiting from. So you can start a business and then you find that you are benefiting a lot from the communities and societies in which you're operating from. That is referred to as corporate social. I mean, you're benefiting from those communities and societies a lot. And you feel like you need to give back, or in other words, saying thank you to those communities and societies. That is referred to as corporate social responsibility. So a business may deliberately pursue corporate social responsibilities because of the benefits that one is going to enjoy, or that particular organization is going to enjoy when pursuing corporate social responsibility. One of the benefits is that if you engage in corporate social responsibility, you find yourself as an organization actually improving your corporate image as an organization. You find yourself as an organization increasing more sales. You find yourself as an organization attracting more customers, attracting demand for your products and services. Because certain customers wants to be associated with an organization that is seen to be treating the communities in a good way. So all that is what is referred to as corporate social responsibility. So that's another example of an objective that any business will pursue. Apart from corporate social responsibility, technical excellence. So in the 21st century, you find that businesses will also pursue this particular objective of technical excellence. Technical excellence meaning that organizations, they want to employ various types of technologies for their businesses. And why do they want to do this? Why do they want to employ technologies for their various businesses? The idea is simple. Technology, as per our discussion before, improves efficiency. That is, organizations want to make sure that their inputs are less than their outputs. They want to input less. For instance, raw materials, they should be less, but the output, they want to be more. So what can help organizations to have to have this efficiency, technical excellence, or technology? Let's consider companies that make soft drinks. How many crates of Coca-Cola can be produced in, let's say, 1 hour if you're doing that manually? Find that maybe one. But what if you use technology? Maybe in an hour you can have thousands of crates because you are using technology. So we need to be able to appreciate what I'm talking about. Okay, so basically that was the lesson today. In recap to what we have done, let me summarize what we have done or what we have looked at today. So today we have talked about the nature of organizations, the nature of businesses. So we have said that businesses are divided into two broad categories, namely for-profit businesses, which aim at making profits, and not-for-profit businesses. So said that the for-profit businesses exist to make profit, and not-for-profit businesses are there to promote the social good. And we have given further examples of not-for-profit for-profit businesses, which we said can include large organizations such as Coca-Cola, Xerox, BP, MTN, etc., etc. And small organizations that are for profit, maybe a restaurant, a hairdresser, a dentist. Examples of not-for-profit organizations, we said they include trade associations, professional bodies such as maybe SCCA or CIMA, Zika, clubs, maybe farmers clubs, maybe charities. All these are examples of not-for-profit organizations. And we've said again that there are various objectives that helps us to understand this business, the nature of businesses better, which include survival, profit maximization, market share, growth, corporate social responsibility, and technical excellence. So we need to be able to appreciate all this. Thank you very much for this lesson. So after this lesson, we are going to, we have been recording the lesson. Then we are going to repost it in the group. Then I want all members to, those that were not able to listen to it, to again listen to the presentation or to this particular topic and ask questions where you did not understand. Seek clarification where you need any clarification. I'll be there to attend to all your lessons, to your questions. Thank you. Thank you very much.